add on to your fan base. So you want to make sure that they kind of feel like they're a part of your team through your social media. They can see like what you do on a day-to-day basis, how your practices look, not only the serious competitive side, but also like the goofy side of the team, because that's how you gain a fan base.
The expectation is never perfection. Yet to become a college athlete, you must be superior in so many areas of your life. We are here to gain insight into what makes the college athlete superior and college athletics so unique. This is the Be Superior podcast. The Kenneth J. Schultheis Library on the Vista Blessed campus of Lake Superior State University provides the state-of-the-art studio support. Chase Ward is our executive producer. I am Tori Lindley, Athletics Director at Lake Superior State University, father of 3, partner of 36 years, a leadership junkie, a competition addict, and someone who holds a lifetime passion for college athletics. Most importantly, in this episode, we will find out what makes Jordan Haller superior. Jordan, thank you for accepting this opportunity to share, and welcome to the studio.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
We usually get into the pathway of a student athlete who spends a lot of time in multiple sports, trying to achieve at a high level in high school, to travel to Lake Superior State University for their college experience. Your travel, however, was measured in miles, probably less than 5. So tell us how you ended up at Lake Superior State University as a Sault Ste. Marie native.
Yes, so growing up, I always went to basketball games, volleyball games, hockey games. I went to the basketball camps, volleyball camps. So I was always kind of familiar with Lake State. I'm very much a homebody, so I like to be close to family. In high school, I played basketball, volleyball, and track. And so when I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to continue playing volleyball in college. So at the time, I played travel basketball until about my freshman year. And also at the time, there was no club volleyball around here. So if I wanted to play club volleyball, I would have to travel to at least 2 hours from here. Mm-hmm. And then my sophomore year of high school, the club was created, Superior Storm. So I played for 2 years. And my club coach at the time, who was also the coach here at Lake State, he started talking to me and reaching out to me. And so from there, I just kind of chose Lake State because, again, I'm a homebody and it was just close to home. And he gave me the opportunity to play here.
Yeah, that's great. Jordan is a member of our volleyball program. She's a defensive specialist. She's a rising senior. She is a marketing major with an emphasis in sports marketing. Tell us about your transition as it pertains to saying goodbye to basketball, because I know basketball is a big part of your scholastic career. I've heard a lot of people tell me that you could play for the Lakers. That choice for volleyball, do you miss basketball?
Sometimes I do miss basketball, but I was excited and ready for a change. I had played travel basketball since first grade probably, and I think it was probably more hard for my dad to let go of the idea of basketball than me. I enjoyed the game in general of volleyball more than I did basketball. So at the end of the day, I chose volleyball just because of how the game excited me and what all went into volleyball.
Jordan is the daughter of Tony Haller and Chris Salo. I'm sure that it's tough enough to separate yourself in Sault Ste. Marie from that Soo High identity, which is great, but how in the world do you avoid going a day without hearing about your dad, the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce?
I don't think I do go through a day where I don't hear about my dad. Everyone that I meet, the first thing that they say to me is, "Oh, is Tony Haller your dad?" And I'm like, "Yep, he sure is." So I think just like Sault Ste. Marie, it's just so small. So you never like, you always run into the same person. It's a small community, so.
And we have a really proud and strong connection with Soo High. I'm interested in how you had that decision making process. You mentioned a couple times you're a homebody, but I think sometimes high level student athletes at Soo High might overthink the process, maybe thinking the grass is greener. So, could you describe your decision making on staying at home and playing at this wonderful university versus traveling to another opportunity somewhere else, either in state or out?
Yeah, so when I was going through that whole process, I was just thinking of not only about volleyball, but just the place of the Sault Ste. Marie in general, because it is a great place to live. There's not much to do, but in the winter you can snowmobile, ski. In the summer you can tube and swim. So I feel that I was thinking of it as when I graduate college, I'll be able to go explore, see the world. Wherever my job takes me, I'll go there. But for now, I'm comfortable with the Soo, the areas of the Soo. If I want to go shopping, let's say, I can always go to Traverse City. So, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. And you've come from a larger family, I guess. Brother Michael and Dominic and your sister Ashlyn. So, very athletic family. Talk about what that's like to be in an athletic household, and is it backyard games at 21? Is it elbows flying? In other activities, maybe indoor, breaking some lamps. What was that like growing up?
Yeah, so growing up, my two older siblings, Ashlyn and Michael, they're have more of an age gap, so they were always the ones that were supporting me, always telling me what I could do to improve myself, especially my brother Michael, because he played football and basketball. And then my little brother Dominic, we were so close in age that we were always going at each other's throats. We would play basketball, and he'd say I foul him, and he'd go crying to my dad and say that I was cheating. And so Dom and I, we've always pushed each other. Even now, we don't fight as much, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But he'll still be the first ones after my game to say something that I did or didn't do during my game. So I think growing up with siblings who played, we were always able to compete against each other and be very competitive. And I think that's where I got my competitiveness growing up.
Whether local, which you are as a student athlete, or coming to us from around the region or the country or internationally, our student athletes have post-game support that looks a little differently than it does in high school. So even for you, whether it's a win or a loss, what does post-game support typically, maybe through text messages look like for you? What feels good to you, and how important is that win or lose after a big GLIAC volleyball match?
I think it's important both win or lose to have like a good support system. I know it's tough for like international students and people who aren't close to the Soo, but for me, since everyone is so close, I have the majority of my close family always supporting me. They're always in the gym cheering me on for my games. So afterwards, if it's my siblings, they'll shoot me a text, and that means a lot to me because I know that they were not just have to watch the game, but they were keeping up with the stats or watching me somehow, supporting me. And then for my parents and my grandma, we'd always go out to eat and kind of debrief. If it's a good win, then I'm obviously excited to talk about it, and they're excited to talk about it. But if it's a loss, they're just there to support me. They know I probably don't want to talk about it, so they'll just try to cheer me up, however, say you'll get the next game. So I think having that support so close to me is important and keeps my head straight.
Jordan, you're part of a program that's realizing increased success year over year. You're certainly a part of that. It's a team sport, so it takes a number of components to be able to build and advance year over year wins. When doing so, how do you look at it as a student athlete, kind of from the inside out? What components are critical that go into program improvement?
I think definitely first and foremost is team chemistry, especially with the girls' team. There's always, some girls don't always gel good together. So I think it's important to have chemistry and to not only make chemistry on the court with each other, but also off the court, getting to know each other. I also think that it's important to be someone that your team can depend on when the results, like you said, aren't always there when you're trying to rebuild a program. It's important that you're always positive, and if you don't have to be a senior, you can be a freshman, and being positive, you can be dependable for your team and your coaches. So,
and if you're speaking to recruits, if you're speaking to fans of volleyball who are going to drive to your matches coming up this fall, what would you say to them about the program and why this volleyball program at Lake Superior State will become a perennial top 4 GLIAC contender?
Yes, we sure will be. I would say to them that the results always aren't there first, and they don't always come fast, but if you come and watch, you can see how much we love each other and we support each other. We're always working hard. I think that's important to always have kids on your team who are always giving 100%. You don't want kids who are just giving 50%. And our volleyball team, we want to make the program top 4, like you said. So we're working hard to become that. We're leaning on each other, supporting each other. We just have good chemistry, and I think that's what I would say to a recruit. And I think they can see that when they, let's say, practice with us. They can see that we love each other and we're always there for each other.
That's twice now I've heard you say that. So I definitely agree to the extent that loving each other is critically important. How much do you think the most successful teams also can manage conflict? Because I've also had the perspective and talked to coaches who sometimes feel like this team might get along too well. Now with 16 to 18 college-age women, I don't know if that's ever truly the case, but describe what you think the appropriate balance is between conflict on a team versus we get along super, super well, so maybe we're not really willing to have a tough conversation.
Yeah, for sure. For our team, like I said, we do love each other, but when the freshmen come in, that's not always there. You don't have to love someone off the court if it's really that big of a conflict. It's important, that you are supporting each other on the court. You have to have each other's backs all the time. And if it comes down to it, it's important it may be hard to have a hard conversation if there's a conflict. You always have to work it out and just let each other know that no matter what happens on and off the court, I'll always have your back. And we don't have to love each other off the court, but when we get on the court, you better love each other because we're trying to all have the same goal of winning and winning a GLIAC championship.
That's really well said. Let's shift to academics. The Lukenda School of Business is outstanding regionally, nationally. You're a member of that as a marketing major, and specifically sports marketing. What I love about Jordan is that she's really taking advantage of the understanding of time spent during college can also be maximized with internships and relationship building. Now, you're going to describe, hopefully for us, how you've capitalized on a family relationship with Aunt Tracy, but tell us about how you foresee the last months of your undergraduate career building toward your ultimate goal out in the public, thriving as a sports marketing professional.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, my major is marketing, so it's been kind of tough because the internship that my aunt is offering, it's only in the spring. So my first 3 years, I obviously wasn't able to because I had spring volleyball. But in the coming months, I won't have it after the fall season. So just kind of being prepared for that, I've taken all the classes, all the marketing classes that would help me be successful for this internship. And I'm lucky enough to have a family connection because the business world is all about connections.
Mhm.
I'm lucky enough to have that family connection where I have the opportunity to go to Florida and do an internship with my aunt.
And tell us more about the connection to the PGA Tour and what she does specifically.
Yeah, my aunt is the tournament director for the Valspar Championship PGA golf tournament. So she runs the whole tournament, and I will be her intern in the spring. She has about 8 of them, and there's different internships that you can, or I can choose. I haven't exactly chose which one, but I can do like ticketing or marketing, like social media marketing, the pro-ams. So once I pick that, then I can kind of narrow in what I want to do after the internship. But for now, I'm thinking more like the social media side of the marketing for her internship.
That's great. Comment before I ask you about the social media piece. Isn't it amazing how in the same family, how Aunt Tracy can get so much intelligence and so much charisma, and yet your dad is left with what he's left with?
Yeah, he's left in Sault Ste. Marie while my aunt has been thriving in Florida, sunny Florida.
Choices. We're certainly better for Tony staying here, but I want to know how you've gained experience and improved by providing so much support to our social media efforts, especially in volleyball. So you've had that chance here inside athletics to be the architect of that social media site or sites, plural. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think what interests me the most about like social media marketing is the way that you can engage with people and the way that you can connect with people, especially for sporting teams. You want to like add on to your fan base, so you want to make sure that they kind of feel like they're a part of your team through your social media. They can see like what you do on a day-to-day basis, how your practices look, not only the serious competitive side, but also like the goofy side of the team, because that's how you gain a fan base. So I think just social media is interesting in general for that reason.
Owning your own impact is really important, and my guess is that you do that for your own personal brand. As you've seen college athletics evolve during your time at Lake Superior State as it pertains to name, image, and likeness, and now Lake Superior State in a partnership with Teamworks has the opportunities now laid out for you. I know it's only been about a month since we launched, but what has it been like for you individually, and how many NIL deals have you struck as the mayor of Sault Ste. Marie?
Well, at the moment, 0, but I'm hoping soon. This moment is like the beginning stages of, like you said, the NLI. So I think that it's important to get out there and reach out there for like all student athletes. It may be hard now because, like you said, the year's coming to an end and all the seasons are ending. But I think that it's a really good opportunity for our student athletes to get themselves out there. And personally, I'm hoping to do that for myself as well in the future.
Jordan Haller feels most alive when?
I am laughing.
What makes you laugh?
Honestly, anything makes me laugh, but I'm just a goofy personality. I like making people laugh myself. I think some people are too serious and they just need to remember to just laugh it out or crack a smile every once in a while, especially when you're a student athlete. That can be hard. So yeah, I like making people laugh.
So my own self-scout, limited sample size. Your smile is infectious. It's contagious. But I'll tell you, I think Allie smiles more on the court than you do. What do you think about that?
Oh, definitely. Al is she smiles more on the court. I am more competitive. Not that she's not. She's very competitive, but she's the mom of the team, as we like to call her. She's the one that's always smiling and laughing too.
The team tends to move a bit as an amoeba, at least in athletic facilities. What types of things on either off days, off evenings, weekends in the non-traditional season do you all capitalize on from a team building standpoint?
Yeah, so everyone's close to around here. We do have some international students, but our favorite thing to do outside of the court is to do anything outside. So we like to snow tube in the winter or ski. We want to go bowling. Pretty much just anything. We like to have a lot of like cookouts and barbecues in the summer, especially when we're moving back here. Anything with food, honestly, and just being with each other.
Let's talk pasties. So a pasty gets put in front of a student athlete who's not from here, and let's say they ask you for the gravy. What's your response?
I would give them the gravy because I like ketchup on mine. And I just had a pasty last night, actually.
Okay.
But both of my roommates, they both were like to me when I first said pasty, they were like, "What's a pasty?" I'm like, "Oh, it's the greatest food ever."
So a couple things. Not a felony offense to put gravy on a pasty. I mean, in my mind, it is ketchup only.
Ketchup only. I like gravy, but I would rather ketchup.
But it's good to know you're willing to allow a teammate to make that choice.
Yeah.
Mistake. Great. Shopping, you mentioned going to Traverse City, opportunities across the bridge over in Sioux, Ontario. How much online shopping distracts you from your academic pursuits?
I am definitely an online shopper. I think that it doesn't distract me from my academic pursuits, but my bank account definitely hurts from it. That's for sure. I do like to shop online, but I also like the experience of going to a mall and trying on stuff with your friends.
As we talk a lot about on this podcast, to be superior, it takes intentional effort. You have athletics, you have academics. We've talked about the importance of team building and your social pursuits individually. How do you manage the balance between have to and want to?
I think that a lot of my have tos are want tos. Even if they're not, then I would make them my want tos. Being a student athlete, you have to balance, your academic, your social life, your practices, and your games. So doing all of that, I think you have more of the mindset that you just want to get stuff done and work hard while you can. So I would say that turning your wants into have tos or your have tos into want tos is important.
That's great advice. I hope all of your 152 other student athletes listened. Your academic pursuits have a connection to sports. That's got to be exciting. To say that the robotics students don't, might be a stretch, but I'm interested in you telling us what professor gets you the most.
I would say that Mindy McCready gets me the most. She has really helped me make this internship possible with my school schedule. She's actually my advisor too. So she's always been a big fan of volleyball. She's part of like the athletics department too. And even in high school, she was at some of my games too. Her husband was my principal. So she's just always been someone that I'm comfortable with, that I know. And so coming to Lake State, she's really helped me improve on just my marketing major as a whole.
Good transition to Professor McCready. Her two youngest daughters, no doubt, look up to you as their heroes at this point. What does that feel like when I say that you're someone's hero?
That it really means a lot to have people that look up to you, and I can see that for myself during our summer camps. Girls, they're always watching you and seeing what you're doing, how you're interacting with everyone. You can see the smile in their eyes when you talk to them. So it's really cool that I have that much of an impact on younger girls, and hopefully in the future they realize that maybe volleyball is something that they want to do in college as well.
That's fantastic. I want to circle back to this basketball career that you reluctantly said goodbye to. I'm sorry that your dad said goodbye to reluctantly. More likely, our Lake State volleyball team beats our women's basketball team at basketball, or our Lake State women's basketball team beats our volleyball team at volleyball.
I would say the volleyball team beating the basketball team playing basketball.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
How come?
Because we're always messing around. Even before a lift, we're playing lightning, and we take it so seriously. People are shoving each other's balls out of the way, trying to, eliminate someone or keep someone in the running. And actually, we do always joke about that. We're like, oh, maybe we should go play them in basketball, or they can play us in volleyball. I just think that would be really fun for both teams to get to know each other more too.
Yeah, maybe we'll set it up. We'll handicap both to, equal the playing ground. But I have to know, other than you, of course, who's got the sweetest jumper on the volleyball team? Second sweetest.
Yeah, second. I would say Morgan Deming. She has the height, obviously. Mm-hmm. She's pretty tall. She played basketball too, so she's always one of the high competitors and the winners when we play Lightning.
All right, well, I expect a lineup of women's basketball players outside my office asking when we're going to set up this biathlon. So you've dropped the first hammer down, and we're going to probably figure out a way to get this done this summer.
I would think that's a great idea. Drop the hammer.
Let's go.
Yep.
All right, we want to find out really what makes you tick, and we do so by understanding one of your categorical top sixes. So the Superior Six list from Jordan Haller, what is the topic?
My topic is sweet treats or desserts.
Sweet treats or desserts. We're recording in the morning, so I'm going to allow this. If we were recording later in the day, I might have a big problem getting through the podcast. But let's roll with top six, starting with number 6.
My number 6 is cookie dough.
Straight up cookie dough from bowl to mouth.
Bowl to mouth, or even from the Meijer store. Just eat it in your mouth. You can constantly eat it. It's nice and easy, and it's delicious.
Shout out Meijer, Jordan Haller, NIL coming soon.
Cookie dough.
Use a fork, right with the fingers.
Fingers.
That's well done.
Or the big spoon, the baking spoon.
Number 5.
Number 5 is cherry chip cake. That is the cake that I always have to have every year for my birthday.
Sounds amazing. I look forward to a piece on my desk coming soon.
Yep.
Number 4.
Number 4 is my mom's no-bake cookies. Do you know what no-bakes are?
I absolutely do. I'm not a big fan, so
Really?
I'm going to go ahead and let you pump them up, but just not.
You're oatmeal, chocolate, peanut butter.
And you forgot to bake it. Not enough peanut butter, not enough texture.
I could sit there and eat those the whole entire day.
I lost track now because we're under dispute with number 4, I thought. So we're 3?
Yes, 3.
Okay.
My number 3 is brownies. Either my mom's brownies or the store-bought brownies. But the store-bought brownies I'm able to make for myself, even though I'm not much of a baker.
All right. So brownie follow-up questions, really simple. And my sister will love this. I'm not sure if she listens to the pod, but the corner or the middle? You get the first crack. All right.
Middle. I'm
So,
going right in dead center.
again, disputed. I go right for the corner. My sister got me a corner-only baking pan. I highly recommend it. It's fantastic. But I'll let you have the middle.
I will take the middle all day.
2.
2, I have Reese's. As you can tell, I'm a peanut butter gal.
I'm with you there, but just straight up Reese's peanut butter cups in any shape or form.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
All right, so now
Just
we're
the
gonna
candy.
spend the next hour on this one. All right, so Reese's, of course, has multi-holiday specifics. Okay, this is an important question. The right answer exists, so think this through. The trees, the eggs, they all have different ratios of chocolate to peanut butter. So which is your favorite featured Reese's?
My favorite featured Reese is the Valentine's one, the Heart Reese's.
Okay, I'll go with that because the correct answer is the egg. Has the most peanut butter to the ratio of chocolate. The tree, way too much chocolate. Think about it, surface area. The heart, good second choice.
Yeah, the heart's a close second choice, I'd say. But I do see where you're coming from.
All right, number one?
Number one is chocolate peanut butter ice cream with the waffle cone.
Undisputed. Well done. Who does the best chocolate peanut butter ice cream?
I would say Zach's in the summertime and Alpine in the wintertime.
All right, both local favorites.
Yep.
Thanks for that. That's fantastic. We almost aligned on all those. You can keep your mom's no bakes, but otherwise we're doing great with the chocolate peanut butter.
Cherry chip cake piece on your desk.
I appreciate that. All right, I want to ask you about something that's really important right now as an issue in college athletics. I want to lay out some of the facts, and then I really want you to provide for us your opinion on where things are going in college athletics. So there are things about this difference in scholarship versus student athletes as employees. But if you think about it, outside of the GI Bill, college athletics has provided the most educational opportunities in the history of our country. There are over 500,000 student athletes. Of that 500,000, over 450,000 of them do not generate any revenue for their university, yet they're supported financially in their education and their educational pursuits through a scholarship. So ultimately, the question that's balanced right now is, should college athletes be classified as employees of their school and share in the revenue, or should they remain amateur in the model that currently exists?
I would say that student athletes should get revenue and be considered employees, not just... I think building a brand for themselves and for the sports team is important, but if they're doing that, then they should get some sort of compensation for that. If it's being an athlete is a full-time job, even if you're not getting, if you're getting paid or not, it takes a lot of your time management. So I think that they should be able to get revenue for the brand or the awareness that they bring to their school.
That's great insight. I appreciate that. In a parallel, now that you've delivered your opinion there, I'm going to keep you in the athletic director seat and ask you, if you were athletic director for a day, what would you do?
If I was the athletic director for a day, I would let the athletes come up with the practice plan for their coaches and run practice.
All right.
So the team would get together, come up with the practice plan, and then they would make their coaches and assistant coaches sprint, do their drills, do whatever they wanted for just an hour.
All right. Well, I've authorized that as, the actual AD for more than one day. I'll make sure Rambo knows. You can just pick whatever day you want, maybe once a week. What do you think?
Yeah, once a week, maybe twice a week.
I love it. All right, Jordan, you've been fantastic. Your time is valuable. Finals week coming up, so we're going to let you break free from here, but it's been fantastic to have this candid conversation. You, like many of our student athletes, are truly an inspiration for our community. You represent Sioux High at an extremely high level, and I know everyone there is super proud of you, as we are, wearing the Laker blue and gold. You've demonstrated incredible resiliency with your academic and athletic pursuits. This opportunity has certainly made my day better, so thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is really fun.
Listener, as always, download, subscribe, share, and share again. Thank you, Jordan Haller. Thank you all for your listenership, and please, as always, be superior.